What if everything you needed, all the healing, the clarity, the empowerment was already within you, just waiting to be unlocked? Welcome to Michelle's Healing Haven podcast. Here is a space where your intuition is going to take the lead. Your transformation, let it begin. Here, dissolve those fears into trust. And healing, well, it's going to become a way of life. Thank you for being here and joining me on this journey. Before we dive in, I want to let you know that additional resources and insights from today's episode are going to be available at my blog on michelleshealinghaven.com. Check it out before or after the podcast. I will always try to put additional resources that are helpful. They could be books, it could be meditations, or just some simple information and tidbits that are very helpful. You can also sign up for my newsletter there as well. Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here today. This is going to be an episode that's going to talk a little bit more about the hermit mode and being an empath. Specifically an empath from childhood, and how important it is to allow yourself space to hear you. This will tie into the intuition episode, and this episode is probably not going to be very long. Thank you for being here, and if you would like more resources, you can check the link below to my blog, or you can go to michelleshealinghaven.com/blog. All right, let's get into this. What is hermit mode? Hermit mode is when you take time for you. That's like the simple answer. In the tarot, the hermit, he is holding a little lantern and he's trying to light his path, and he's kind of just following his intuition and going this way and that way and this way and that way. He can't really see where it's leading him. He just knows it's the right way. He also can't really see what's behind him, and he doesn't focus on that. It's a very soul-searching spiritual energy. Now, I'm going to go backwards here, okay? We're going to start and focus on why people would go into hermit mode. As an example, I, oftentimes, when I'm working through something, I go into hermit mode. If you know me, you know this. I will process better when I'm in my own space. One of the reasons why I process better in my own space is because I've been an empath since I was a child. When I was a child, the environment that I grew up in, I was always on the preserve the self. An empath is born usually out of trauma. Now, childhood trauma specifically, you try to find the safest way to move. You start reading a room, you start reading people, you start acting based on what's the safest way to act. It's not a very authentic energy, but you're doing it out of self-preservation. And as a child, it's a way to get through something. I did that a lot growing up. Now, looking back, it's really cool because I can see how loud my intuition was. Because if I wasn't being authentic to me, I knew it, but my body was like, it's safer to do this. It makes more sense to do this. And out of self-preservation, it helped me for so long. It did. Being an empath has a lot of benefits. However, sometimes being an empath, when you're around other people, you might feel different than everybody else. One of the hardest things that I have found being an empath is we tend to build, starting at a young age, especially if it started with childhood trauma, we tend to build so many different worlds that we live in. We're one person in a certain world because it's safe. We're another person in this other world. As you grow into an adult, you might try to pull them together in a safe way, but there becomes a time where you're like, okay, in my authenticity, who am I? And how do I just be me all the time? And as an empath, that's a challenging thing because we constantly try to embody the safest energy. That is also another reason why going into hermit mode for me helps me go, okay, where am I not being able to be myself and why? Why is my body telling me there is something unsafe about a situation? Is it really unsafe, Or is it just a perception from something that I have to work through from my past? Allow yourself the time, especially if you're an empath, to work through some of these things. When we are younger, it serves our purpose. It helps us be safe and make decisions based on our feeling of safe. When we get older, it actually serves as a deterrent from anything that might be risky, but also it might deter you from being authentically you, being a people pleaser, or allowing yourself not to choose yourself because it's the easier road. If you're an empath who's been through a lot of childhood trauma, you could probably wear a mask very well, but also remember, when you do wear a mask, you do shut out people that are trying to get to you. There's a book called The Body Keeps the Score. It's by Bessel van der Kolk, MD. It's a great book, but it also explains a little bit about why childhood trauma, different from other trauma, a lot of times being around other people or talking to other adults isn't how you process that, because it starts in the beginning with the child not wanting to talk to adults because that's the circle of the trauma. So be mindful. If you do have people in your life who have had childhood trauma, they will deal with, working through things differently. However, every person here can benefit from being in hermit mode, whether it is backpacking across a country, going and spending a couple weeks on a mountaintop, just having time to yourself that you schedule, or even just, that 1 hour a day to you. It allows you to hear yourself, your intuition. You can go check out the intuition episode if you'd like, episode 2. But here's the thing. I want you to ask yourself a question. If you had to go sit in a room, you can put meditation music on in the background, not music with words, nothing that you can sing, for an hour. Can you just sit there in your own silence? Maybe write, but that's it. That's it. Just sit there, write at best. No reading, because reading is a distraction. No other distractions. Can you just sit with yourself and feel comfortable? If you can't, then you need the hermit mode. That's how you slow yourself down to hear your intuition. Journaling is very useful. And just to somebody whose mind is very busy, I always suggest journaling. A lot of times when your mind is busy, especially if you're an empath, very intuitive, and you may know it but not follow it, you're also probably channeling a lot of information around you. Journaling is going to help you get that information out on paper. The more that you do that, the clearer your mind's going to be. But I challenge you, if you don't take enough time for yourself and you aren't used to or able to sit in silence, find a way that you can take a little bit of time each day to do that. Slow down the mind. Now, I am going to talk directly about the intuition, because when you're an empath, you strongly know when you're going against your intuition. When I look back from simple decisions in my childhood, I knew, you know what? I want to do this other thing, but I know it's safer for me not to. I knew I was going against what I wanted to do. When I got older, I realized when the intuition was telling me to do something and when it wasn't. I've moved randomly across the US twice. Didn't ask anybody. Intuitively, I was pulled, so I did it. When you start trying to get validation on your intuition with the people around you, it's not always going to line up, and that's okay. Like, I didn't sit there and ask everybody, what do you think if I randomly moved to this thing? I live currently in Georgia. I literally randomly picked it on a map. That's it. I applied to a few jobs to transfer my job, and one of them is like, hey, you can come out here. And I was like, cool, I'll figure it out. That's what I did. So allow yourself to follow your intuition. And an empath, you can at least acknowledge when you're not following it and notice who's around you. What other influences are coming in? Is it just out of fear of you, or is it in a fear based on the childhood aspect? Say it's someone from your childhood, one of the adults where trauma came from. They might still have hold over how you are authentically you or not. Can you walk into a room, have a tough conversation lovingly, and not be triggered by it and feel safe? That takes a lot of time and work on the self to be able to acknowledge, clear out some of the old feelings and acknowledge you are now safe. You are not in that situation anymore. You are now safe. It is okay to be you in front of that other person. Even if they disagree, it's okay. It's okay to choose you. You learn the strength through that. The more you can hear your voice, the more you can hear your intuition. Especially if you feel like you still live in multiple worlds and you don't know how to pull them together, you're going to have to look at, well, why do I feel unsafe? What about it feels unsafe? Now, some of them, you're going to go back and go, well, back then it was not irrational, but right now it actually is irrational. I am perfectly safe where I am, and that person shouldn't be able to shut me down like they do. That person coming into your energy field does not have the right to keep having you shut yourself off and go into this masked mode. So be mindful when that happens and you get triggered in that sense, they still have power over the situation. Give yourself grace in working through that. Understanding how energy works and how to let go of energy was episode 1. So you can go back to that. If you are looking for one-to-one, I do offer coaching sessions directly, but 100%, you deserve to be able to be authentic and choose you without the guilt, without the shame, without the fear. And we go through lessons to learn how to get back to that and unlearn the things we've learned. So be patient with yourself. It's not instant. So what helps to get past some of the childhood trauma and being an empath? Well, first of all, being an empath, I'm going to tell you, you're going to need to disconnect from people at some point because you're pulling on their energy. You might be moving out of how their energy is, and you need to get more aware of you. The stronger that you understand and follow you, the more you can still be you, authentic, and be in the group. As an empath, you have a phenomenal ability to hear your intuition, to grow your other psychic senses, which you probably have already done in ways that you don't even realize yet. And that's maybe why you're getting all signs, synchronicities. You get a lot of downloads. Your brain could be very busy all the time because you're pulling on everybody else's energy, right? And it's finding a balance of what is your energy and what energy doesn't serve you anymore. Who around you is controlling your energy without your knowledge and from the past? And how do you incorporate being more you? So I'm going to tell you the first step is understanding yourself. If you have not understood where your empathic ability has come from, I challenge you, the book that I suggested, The Body Keeps the Score, there's other resources, but understanding where it came from will also show you some pain points of where you might still be allowing other people's energy to control your choices. Also, you get to understand why you feel so strongly about maybe some decisions that come up that you're like, well, I can't explain, but I want to do this. The more you start doing that, you are empowering yourself again and not giving in to the fear. Secondly, I would find time to regulate you, whatever that means, okay? Sometimes we have this really huge agenda that we want to get done. You have to be a part of that agenda, okay? You do. If you find time to sit in silence every day, you're going to hear yourself better. You're going to hear the world better. You're going to be a better communicator. Oftentimes, an empath from childhood is not always the best communicator. They have to learn that because they can read the energy without words. An empath feels the energy around them. They can sense people's fear. They can sense people's hostility. They can sense people's anger, and they can sense people's joy. As an empath, you will constantly get intuitive hits of how the people around you feel, okay? It's not your job to make everybody perfect and happy in controlling everything. So don't focus on that. but allow yourself to have the tough conversations, to be honest with yourself first, okay? To be honest with yourself first about why you might feel how you feel, but also not to run and avoid conversations. Oftentimes, it gets to be a pattern that out of safety, you might avoid certain people. You might avoid certain things when you were a child. As an adult, allow yourself to go back and work through that, because you don't want those people having energy over you, because you're going to wander in a room one day with them and it's going to trigger you. It's going to make you shut down. You don't want that. You want to be able to go, oh, okay, it shut me down this time. Let me work through that. So when I see them next time, I can be emotionally open and lovingly let the energy go. And my body now feels safe. Feeling safe ties back into the first chakra, the root chakra, which is the first episode in the chakra series. So I want you to understand feeling safe has so many advantages. Sanity is one of them. The mental stress of it, the anxiety, but also the stability in everything that you do, everything you're trying to create. Safety is very important to have. And with childhood trauma, the subconscious memories and all of that needs to be reworked so that your body isn't just moving out of fear because of something as a child. When you look at the same situation as an adult in your current present, that situation, when we look at what's the worst case scenario or what could happen if this goes wrong, it's not going to equal what was happened in the past. And the minute you can start reasoning that and working through that for yourself, you're going to be able to be a stronger version of you. And the empath ability is just going to keep guiding you to where some of the red flags might be from childhood. And the more you work through it, the better you're going to feel in the present, the safer you're going to feel. A lot of times, the childhood trauma will make people try just to survive, and they find it a victory. I did. I found it a victory just to survive, and I was like, I did it. I survived. I'm okay. I just survived. But we're all allowed to thrive. It's realizing that, wow, I'm worth more. I can work through this, and I can get from A to B, and I'm going to enjoy every step of it. And it's looking back with gratitude, like, I learned so much. How do I keep moving forward? And when I looked back, my intuition, like, I was so proud of how loud it was, even if I wasn't listening to it, because my brain was like, okay, I need to do this to be safe, even though I really wanted to do this. And it was really cool. But as we grow, it's now switching back, going, I am safe. I want to do what I'm being pulled to do. And that's authenticity. It's taking down the walls of the self and trying to be the same person with everybody. It's focusing on, where am I people pleasing and how do I balance that out to give the extra energy to me? Pull the power back to you. Allow yourself to get rid of the multiple worlds. You only need to be you. Now, you might anger people. We already know how this works. Even if they're family. The thing is, if you're being authentically you and honest, and they aren't staying, you don't need to chase them. It's okay. Because you will pull in the people that give to you, that love you without strings. Love isn't something that should be bought or bargained. It just is. Love just is. If you're not receiving love for free from the people around you, allow them to go. Be you. Don't be afraid of what they think, how they'll act, how they'll take it. Don't be afraid of being yourself authentically. Now, I will put a caveat there, okay? If you are working through pride and anger, be mindful that you're not just being angry and rude to everybody. Allow yourself to lovingly, compassionately say, I'm being me and I don't want to do that. Or I'm being me, I'm choosing this. And that's okay. Just be mindful with how, when you're working through some of the emotions, how the emotions come out to other people. We are human. We are not perfect. Apologize when you're in the wrong, and the people that support you will still be there. Love should not be conditional. So be mindful of that. People will exit your life as you grow, and they'll come back if they're meant to be in your life and they're aligned. But if something feels off, allow it. One of the hardest things is to let go when you don't know what's going to happen. And that's okay. You're like, I'm going to let go because I can't solve this. And if it's able to be solved, it'll come back. Trust that the universe, trust your higher self, trust the divine, your guides, that if somebody exits your life, there's a reason. When you actually start working through some of the childhood trauma blocks you might have with a person, that also lets go of energy. If you need more understanding of energy, episode 1. But here's the thing. It allows space for new things. Everything is energy and everything takes up space. Your thoughts, where you give your thoughts, take up space. That's why when you change what you think about, your outside world will also change. It does. If you change to have a more positive mindset, it's going to change the outer world. When you put the first episode of energy, the second of intuition, the third of manifestation together, and you start looking at some of the things that take your energy, you're going to be able to create more in your outer world than you could imagine. And the towers, the changes have to happen to clear out the stuff that does not align to the new you, the ever-changing you. So allow things that are trying to leave energetically. Say if this is like the 8th time you've tried to avoid a conversation with somebody from your past, maybe have that conversation, let the energy go. What's the worst that could happen? It could be awkward. Okay. You could maybe say the quote unquote wrong thing, but we learned from it. Allow yourself to embrace your authentic self. All right, it is now Oracle time. So we are going to get an Oracle card from the Secret Language of Light and Healing Waters. So I am starting with manifestations actually at the bottom of the Secret Language of Light. So let's see what's important here. Let's see what's important to the person who's found this beautiful podcast. Let's see. What is important here? All right, Spirit guides, what is important here? I should have let your light shine. 45. It's all about authenticity, not making yourself small anymore. Definitely an empath message. This is the card that was at the bottom when I first picked it up, and I shuffled it a few times before this, and I like to shuffle live. And Inward Revolution is at the bottom, but let your light shine. This is all about authenticity. As an empath, if you are an empath, or you can resonate with having multiple masks and trying to figure out who do I be. Let your light shine. This is you allowing yourself to allow your light to shine. Doesn't matter how big it is. Allow yourself to be you. If you stand out. I mean, I do this. I will wear the glittery shirt when everybody's like, what are you doing? And it's me, right? I will wear something purple when it doesn't match anything else because it's purple. I painted my wall purple. Find what speaks authentically to you, okay? But this is not allowing yourself to be small, not making moves based on what everybody else thinks, feels. Just be you. The people who are meant to stay will stay, but you are also going to inspire others when you do this. It is the best light worker advice I can give to anybody. Let your light shine. You inspire other people when you choose yourself. You inspire other people to do the same, okay? But Inward Revolution, this card specifically at the bottom tells you, in the book, it tells you, I know because it's the first one I ever got when I bought this deck. It's the first one I ever got. And it tells you to sit down, meditate, and imagine this inward revolution clock sort of thing spiraling inside you. And it's basically, what does that light inside you say? What is that system that's like ticking and moving inside you? What does your inner intuition, that inner DNA tell you to do? I will include a picture of both of those. All right, from Healing Waters, what is if the person's found this here for healing waters. I think we'll grab one of these. Yeah, only one. Yep. Okay. And we have Atlantis. Keep the big vision. Stay in alignment as you grow. Yeah. So this alignment is authenticity. You choose things just because you know they're for you, not because everybody else cares about it. And allow yourself to have this big vision. Don't make it small. I love how it says keep the big vision, because sometimes we'll go, well, you know what? I think that I should just do this little thing, but maybe you really wanted to do something else. Keep the canvas big. What do you want to do? You know, if you want to teach in front of 8,000 people, why not, right? Allow yourself to be comfortable or grow into that comfortability while you grow. Things, when they are uncomfortable, usually means you're going the right way or you're addressing something that needs to be addressed. But what's on the other side is growth. Learning authenticity is one of the things that's most personal to me. So whoever's listening to this, authenticity, again, I will repeat it, authenticity. So today we talked about what it is to be in hermit mode, different means to being in hermit mode, and why hermit mode might be important for some people, especially empaths. I hope if you are somebody who has childhood trauma that has led you to become a strong empath, that you embrace it. Allow yourself to keep working forward through it, because it is like a superpower. It allows you to understand situations at a different level, yourself at a different level. And in future episodes, when I speak specifically about intuitive abilities and some of the clair abilities, you are going to notice that your abilities are going to come through easier. So allow yourself to take the time to spend time learning your intuition, creating a more stable version of you. If you are looking to have a dedicated one-on-one mentorship with me, I do offer a 90-day program. You can go on my website and you can schedule a free discovery call to ask more questions, or you can book it right there. If you need more information on that, you can go to michelleshealinghaven.com/SC. If you are not added on my newsletter, you can also go there on my main website, but I do have a new content form that I will be sending out. It's going to be called Divine Downloads. When I have that set up, I will put the link in all of my podcast episodes so that you have the ability to sign up. That sign up will be different. I'm not going to be adding everybody into it. So to those who want that, you can actually get that there. And thank you guys all for the likes and the follows. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this content, please like it. Please follow me, subscribe on whichever platform you are listening to this on. And I hope everybody has a phenomenal day, month, year, and journey moving forward. Love, light, and positive vibes.